teenage fashion dolls. So I've just spat on it now, so that's not a great thing, is it? Hello again and welcome back to March May's Midlife Dolly Crisis, and as promised in my last video, I am going to be unboxing this doll today, which is the BFF doll. She's called Ella. Now I think she's from the second wave because there's a number 2 on the front here. I've not done any research, so you'll have to forgive me on that. I mentioned in that video that they were kind of an offshoot of the sort of the baby range, which, if I have a look here on the front, it says Cry Babies official product. So I think the big kind of cartoony baby things are called Cry Babies. So this is obviously the front of the box here. So we've got this sort of tube thing on the side, which you kind of move these round for different sort of poses of the doll. It's a bit weird. The top bit doesn't go around, but this is kind of an image of all of the ones available in this wave. There's a picture here of the kind of stuff that you'll get in there. So these are the kind of the clothes and accessories that she comes with. It says on here, unbox fashion doll and accessories. And then it's got it in lots of different languages. If we turn this to the side, so there's an image of her on the side of the box there as well. She's called Ella, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. And then if we go to the back there, so this is an image of all the dolls in that wave. Now, originally, I had thought that they were based on food because she's a strawberry. But I was obviously just winging it because by the looks of it, none of the other ones look like they're any kind of food at all. And the names don't seem to suggest anything, although I suppose Ella doesn't really either. So we've got Bruni or Bruni, Lala, Hannah, Ella's the one we're going to open, Jassy, and Daisy is at the end. So I don't know if they do have a theme running through them. From some of the other ones I've seen, they've kind of got like animal sort of ears and stuff like that. But then, you know, some of these are like animals as well. This is like a unicorn. So I actually don't know. So listen, if you want to investigate further, I'd suggest maybe Google might help you there rather than me. There seems to be some kind of series for them as well. There's a YouTube sort of symbol there, and Kitoons, which I'm presuming is a sort of a children's cartoon sort of network or channel or whatever. I couldn't see a year on this. I did see there's a Spanish address here for IMC Toys, which are the company which produced it. So I don't know if they're originally a Spanish company. If you look on the bottom, they are made in China. So obviously, you know, I suppose most things are. But yeah, I don't know if they're actually a Spanish company or maybe it's just the European branch of them is based in Spain, maybe. And then again at the bottom we've got here the symbol for the Cry Babies, which you think that'd be a bit more prominent, to be honest, but no, it's just kind of there tucked away in the corner. So I am going to open this and we'll have a look and see what is in here, because I think there might be some kind of like play aspect to the box, but yeah, let's have a look. Okay, so look, I've kind of opened it out a bit here and there is some stuff going on. So there's kind of like a sort of a diorama or a kind of a background sort of room theme going on at the back. So presumably you can keep this and use it to play with the doll. The doll is in the tube here, but there is also the hat, the sort of the beret, the strawberry beret here, just kind of strapped in there. And then there's a box here which also might have other stuff in. I don't know how this actually comes off, and I don't really want to rip anything because it seems a bit of a shame. Does this... Okay, this lifts out. This whole bit lifts out. Because yeah, I had to be careful at the top because I was trying to pull it, but obviously this bit was down there and kind of secured in. But yeah, if you lift that bit up, then you can get to that bit. So I'm presuming the same thing happens probably on the bottom here, but I don't know. Oh, okay, this is just stuck. This is just stuck in. So if I, oh, okay, I've ripped it now. Well, look, it's not gonna make it any better, is it? Oh dear, that's annoying. So I've just ripped the bottom of the kind of the floor of the room, which is not great. I mean, obviously, you know, I would probably not be using it anyway, but look, there you go. So you get this kind of room backdrop, which is quite cute there, and you also get a bit of a floor there with a great big floor there. So yeah, so that is the box. So I guess we should have a look at the other bits. So this is the tube where the doll is. So I guess let's have a look at this bit first. Again, this is sort of part of the room setup, I suppose. The rubber bands seem to have sort of come off this. So that lifts off. So there we go. So that is the kind of the beret that she would wear. It's actually quite nicely detailed. It looks like I should be able to squeeze it and sort of tomato ketchup comes out or something, but it is meant to be strawberry. So you can see the seeds of the strawberry kind of all over it, but they aren't sort of painted. Whereas the stalk bit with the kind of the leafy bit, they are painted. So that's quite nice. There's sort of like a detail around the side for the sort of the binding of the hat, and then if you have a look inside, it's actually got sort of like grippy bits that would sort of grip inside onto the head, so hopefully it won't keep sort of falling off the doll. So that is the beret. What is here? Okay, I'm going to lift this bit. So this looks like it's meant to be sort of like a chest of drawers or something there, but that lifts off. And then we've got other bits in here, so that's good. So we have got a pair of socks here. So these are yellow and white stripes. They look well finished off. The material isn't, you know, it's not silk, but it's okay. All the edges are finished off, which is nice. So there they are. I've also got this little handbag here, which has got a flower on it, which seems a bit odd, seeing as she is meant to be strawberry themed. I thought there'd be at least a strawberry on there. But yeah, so on both sides there's this kind of flower motif. There's no bottom to this, so it obviously doesn't open to put anything in. But that's okay, it is meant to be kind of like an accessory, I suppose. So that is a handbag there. I've then got this, which is a necklace with a pendant. Obviously there's no painted on details here, so it is basically just sort of like a blue plastic. It's kind of a bit see-through. And there is a pendant which doesn't really seem to be anything. It's just kind of like a sort of, I suppose like a sort of a teardrop shape at the bottom. So that's her jewellery. And then lastly we've got these quite fabulous looking shoes. So they're obviously a sort of a bright pinky sort of red colour. And then they've got bows on the front which have put sort of painted detail, and they are green, so that's cute. That green matches the green of the stalk bit on the beret. But yeah, they're nice. They've got slits down the back, so obviously they can go onto the foot. But yeah, they're quite cute. There's obviously not a lot of painted detail on there, but there is a little bit. You know, we've got the bow, and then the rest of it is just sort of moulded in. So we've got sort of like a buckle bit here around the ankle strap. We've got kind of stitching detail as well. The bottom bit has got a sort of a textured sort of heel and sole, and then underneath we've got sort of like grips there. So that is the shoes. So there was a little poster as well. This was attached to the top of the sort of chest of drawersy bit where the surprises came out. So we've got one side here which shows an image of Ella in all of her accessories and clothes and stuff. And then if you flip over to the other side, we've got a sort of a checklist for the other dolls there, actually including her. So there were 6 in this series by the looks of it. And then at the bottom we've got kind of an image of the kind of packaging. That's a bit better, isn't it? Yes, we've got an image of the kind of the packaging and the weird kind of like moving the thing around. We've got the room thing here. and then it kind of shows you over this side how the doll comes out of the tube. So that's what we're going to be doing next. So that should be interesting, shouldn't it? Okay, so here is the tube. Obviously the bits go round. I guess it's kind of a nice feature. You kind of match bits up. Some bits don't match up because of the way that she's posed. So there's two different poses that you can do. So there's one where she's got her bag by her side there. And then the other one she does have a bag by her side as well. So I actually don't know which one is meant to be which. Anyway, look, I'm sure that's what kids love these days, things that they can move around. We're going to take the top bit off now. So there's tape on this bit, which I'm going to delicately remove. I should say this tube is actual proper plastic. So I guess it's nice that they would have somewhere they could probably store the doll afterwards as well. And it might be nice to sort of travel with the doll in the tube maybe. So yeah, it's kind of a shame that you can't sort of see the doll in the tube or kind of twist it so you can see the doll. But I suppose the idea of the packaging is it's meant to be a bit of a surprise, although obviously you know which doll you're getting from this. So look, let's pull the top bit off and see. I don't know what these things are. Oh, okay, so that's attached to something there. Okay, so here's the big reveal. Ta-da! And here is the doll. So I'm going to get her off of her sort of stand thing and we'll have a proper look at her. Okay, so here she is. It didn't take a lot to get her off the stand. She wasn't really attached. She basically had the kind of the waist clip thing here, just around her waist, keeping her in. But I presume there might be other stuff on her, but there wasn't. She literally just came off it like that. I guess you can use this as a stand, but it's a bit cumbersome, to be honest, because also you've got the big lid bit on there as well. I don't know if there's another way of using this, because it feels a bit odd that they'd have this just to kind of have the doll inside. So I'm guessing you can probably use it as a stand, although it doesn't feel that stable. But I don't know if that's because of this bit at the top. I think there is a way you can remove this. Oh, it just clips off. But then you've kind of got that weird sort of bit at the top, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But look, that's that. I guess at least she comes with some kind of stand, which is always nice. So let's put this to one side now. So here is our doll. She's actually a lot smaller than I thought. I don't really know how big I thought she was going to be, but compared to the actual tube, I suppose she isn't that much smaller than it. She's kind of a little bit, but not that much. I like the fact that she is not quite looking as plastic as the actual image of her looked. She feels a lot nicer, and her face seems a lot cuter, I think, than the actual face that we saw on the promo art and stuff like that. So obviously she is meant to be young. She's meant to be like a young child, I would have thought, just because of her sort of proportions and her face and stuff like that. So she comes with most of her outfit on. Obviously we've got other bits to put on her. I have to be honest, her articulation is pretty amazing for such a small doll. But we'll kind of get to that in a second. The hair feels very nice. It feels very soft, which is good. It's really nice pink colour. I don't know about hair types or anything like that, but as I say, it feels very soft and very nice. There is product in it towards the end here, like there is with most dolls anyway, so we should kind of be used to that. But in the fringe and in these bits at the side here, which are actually very cute, it's kind of nice that they've given her this sort of bit of a hairstyle. This is kind of free of product. There's no product in those bits. It's only really at the end of the ponytails that we've kind of got product in there. I don't know what the rooting is like. The hair feels pretty okay. I think it's okay. I guess, you know, you could probably release the ponytails as the hair feels quite thick. Let's have a look at her face. So she's got little pink eyebrows, which hopefully you can see. The fringe just kind of skims over them, but hopefully you can kind of see them there. They are quite pale, but well, on camera they're quite pale. Face to face they're not. You can definitely see them. She has little green eyes, or big green eyes, which are really cute. They are inset, which is always nice. I always think inset eyes gives the doll a bit more sort of life, and you can kind of see the shine off them there from the light as well. Obviously they are quite sort of animated looking. She's got a little bit of a face up in that she does have some blushing on her cheeks, and she has a kind of a pink lipstick on there, which is very cute. If we go further down, so we've got the strawberry blouse, which is really cute, I think. We've got kind of like see-through arms here, which are kind of puff sleeves. Obviously all over it we do have the seeds of the strawberry. These are in yellow. So that's quite a nice detail. We've also got a collar, which is the same shape as the kind of the star stalk bit, which you normally find on the top of the strawberry. We've got a cuff detail here at the end as well, which kind of brings the sleeve in as well. She has got plastic on her arms by the looks of it, but we'll remove that when we take the clothes off. She's got a really cute pair of green shorts, which has got a sort of a leaf detail all over them. Again, these seem really nicely made. There's pleating down at the bottom of it there. There's no raw edges as far as I can see. There's stitching all the way around at the waistband as well. If we turn her over, we can see that it is velcroed. Oh, it's not shorts. I thought it was shorts. It looks like shorts. I think because of the way it goes up there. It is actually a little skirt. Yeah, for some reason I thought she was wearing shorts, but she's not. So look, we can actually remove them now. Let's take that off. Yeah, so I don't know if it's meant to look like shorts, only because of what they've done to the front bit here. As you can see, it kind of goes up there. So maybe it's meant to look like shorts, but it isn't. That's quite clever, actually. The fabric feels very nice. It's got kind of a stiffness to it as well, so it'll obviously keep some sort of shape to it. Let's take off the blouse as well, and we can have a closer look at that. Now, she does have painted on underwear, which is nice. So she's got some green underpants on there, and they've got little dots on them. I don't know if they're meant to sort of be carrying on the whole strawberry seed motif thing. Oh, okay, so the plastic's come off. That's good. Well, look, let's have a look at the blouse first before we get on to the articulation. So here we go. So here is the blouse here. So the main body of the blouse is sort of like a thicker fabric, and obviously not see-through. And as I mentioned, it's got the little kind of yellow seeds all over the front. We've also got the sleeves here, which are kind of like a pink mesh. There's also kind of a glittery detail in them as well. And again, that has got the yellow seeds all over it as well. And then we've got red, sort of, it looks like a sort of elasticated sort of cuffs there as well. So obviously the kind of whole shape of the sleeves is that they're a bit sort of like puffy, and then they'll kind of come in and they're sort of drawn into the cuff there. We've got this really cute little collar here. Now, the one on mine seems to want to flip up a bit, unfortunately, but I'm sure there's a way I can sort of flatten it down. That does have raw edges by the looks of it, but I'm presuming it's a fabric that is not going to fray. So that's okay. We've got stitching all the way down the bottom. Yeah, it's actually a really nice little blouse. And obviously it's got Velcro down the back to get it on and off. So that is the blouse. So let's have a look at the doll herself and have a look at what kind of articulation she has. Okay, so The plastic on her body feels a little bit rubbery, but it's not quite sort of the rubber legs that you get on, say, like a Cindy doll or anything like that. It is still a harder plastic, but it does feel a little bit, it's got a bit of softness to it as well. Obviously we've got painted on underwear here, which is quite nice, because obviously she's supposed to be a younger doll. She is flat-chested, because obviously, as I say, she's meant to be more of a child, I would have thought, than anything else. She has quite a lot of articulation. So the head, I presumed, was going to tilt, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to want to. It just kind of goes around like that. But the rest of the articulation kind of makes up for that in a way. So, shoulder-wise, the shoulders go up, the shoulders go around like that. So that's pretty good. We've then got elbow articulation as well. So she bends at the elbow there. And you can kind of bend out a bit as well, depending on how you're twisting it. But yeah, so she bends at the elbow, and she also bends at the wrist as well. I mean, that is a lot of articulation in such a small doll, I would say. You don't often get that in some of the bigger dolls, let alone kind of a doll that's this size. She has nothing else in the body. She has nothing in the body at all. The body's a solid piece. We then get down to the legs. So the hips will sort of move up. They kind of do go together as well, so she can sit sort of nicely. She can do the splits, more or less. We've then got knee articulation as well. So they will just bend. There's no twist in the knee. So yeah, the knees will just bend. There's no real kind of twist in the knee. You know how sometimes with this part you can kind of twist it around? There's no twist there. The only movement you have really is here with the hip, but you kind of move that around if you need to. There is no articulation in the feet. The feet are actually quite large, so if you wanted to redress her, I'm not really sure what kind of shoes you would find for her. Thankfully she does come with quite a nice pair herself. So yeah, I'm sure there probably are shoes that will fit her, but you might have to shop around and see what people are saying about that. So I am going to get her in her full outfit with all her accessories, and we'll have a final look at her. Okay, so here she is in her full outfit with her shoes on and little sort of socks and stuff on. The only thing I will say about dressing her was, because of the sleeves, obviously they're a little bit delicate, just be careful about getting the fingers through. There's probably a reason that these are actually sort of elasticated, so if you kind of pull at them like that, you will be able to slide the hand through better. I'd be worried about sort of children getting impatient maybe and just kind of forcing it through, because I think there's a possibility that the thumb or one of the fingers would actually get stuck in the netting there. Getting the little socks on was okay. I mean, the legs, as I mentioned, are a little bit rubbery. They're not rubbery to the extent that it's impossible to get anything on. They did actually go on okay. I think it probably helped that there was no sort of like articulation at the ankle as well. But it was hard to get them to be sort of level with each other. I think once you put the shoes on, you can kind of fiddle with it and you can kind of work it up the leg further, really. I guess they're kind of meant to be sort of knee length. I'm not sure. That's kind of as far as they go. You don't really want them to be sort of wrinkly. The shoes went on fine with the socks on, so that's good. That's not always the case with some dolls. And then she's got a little bag here. And yeah, the beret basically just kind of like, you just squish it on the head and it seems pretty stable. She is, I suppose, a bit top heavy because her head is bigger than the rest of her body. But I think, and she's probably going to prove me a liar now, but I did have her actually standing up at one point on her own. So yeah, look, she does kind of stand up on her own. I don't know if you would use necessarily that sort of pink gadget that she had as a stand, because obviously you're going to end up with this sort of bit at the top here sort of showing up the back, which seems a bit odd. But yeah, I think she's actually very cute. I would imagine that children would really enjoy her. She does obviously give me with the whole strawberry theme, the whole sort of strawberry shortcake vibe, which was a doll that I always really liked when I was sort of growing up. You know, she was kind of everywhere. One further thing with accessories, the necklace on this doesn't really work so well. I think because of the colour. It also really doesn't fit with anything else she's wearing because it's blue and the rest of her has a very definite kind of colour palette going on. So I'd probably leave that off. I don't think you need it anyway because the colour is so kind of like pretty anyway on its own. So, what do you think of Ella? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you've got a whole collection of these BFF dolls. I wasn't really that aware of them. I'd only kind of seen this one because she'd sort of come up when I'd done searches for other stuff on Amazon. So that's really why I ended up with her. And when I got her, as I previously mentioned, she was like 10 pounds. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna get her. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Please remember to comment down below. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you next time. So until then, take care. Bye.